Hi, Kylie. Welcome to the Impact Revolution channel. Thank you so much for making time. I love to hear the waves of the Cayman Island. How are you?
Very good, Yoshi. How are you today?
Very good. Very excited to start this interview. So, if you want, Kylie, normally we ask a couple of personal questions just for the audience to get to know you a bit more. And then later we can have a more business life related question. Is that okay?
Sure.
All right, cool. So you are in Cayman Island, okay? So I don't know if this question makes sense. However, I will make it because I like it, okay? Uh, if you could wake up anywhere in the world tomorrow, Kylie, where it will be?
It would be right here.
Yeah, imagine it. Okay, very good, very good. All right. I can see the beautiful sea and the way. So yeah, fair enough. Now the second question, Kylie. If I ask you what was your happiest moment in your life, what is the first memory that comes to your mind?
The happiest memory that comes to mind, I have a lot of them. But the
Sure.
first one, truthfully, that just crossed my path is family related.
Okay.
And my family grew up as very close in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. My mother has four brothers, and generations ago, my grandmother introduced the tradition of family dinner. And growing up, my cousins and my uncles and my mom and I and my brother would all rotate family dinner every Thursday. And through holidays and everything, once a week, we would all have family dinner. And that's one of my happiest moments. There are many of them.
Uh-huh.
But that specifically, I think, is one of the core emotion memories that
All
is
right,
something
cool.
that will carry with me for the rest of my life as a family dinner tradition.
Uh-huh.
Thinking of it, going to attend it when I go back to Pennsylvania, it just brings me pure happiness.
All right, very good. So it's the connection with your family, yeah, and having this lunch or dinners together. All right, very good. And is there any popular food or dish that you like the most?
From a hometown favorite, there are some signature Lancaster dishes. So I don't have a favorite one there.
Uh-huh.
But my mother was never a super gourmet cook. I loved when my father would cook at home, just backyard grill. But
Uh-huh.
my mom's signature dish is called cheesy potatoes. Not
Cheesy
necessarily
potato.
not necessarily the healthiest thing, but friends and family who are watching and know, this will put a smile on her face. That's her signature dish.
Okay, very cool. That's nice. That's great. All right. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's very cool. Now we can go to the interview more like questions. Kylie, I wanted to know, based on this happiness director and everything that you do related to happiness and the teachings that you do to companies and all that, what is your why?
My why is so that I can be my best self to leave a positive impact on anyone that crosses my path. So it can be in a
Uh-huh.
professional setting, it often is. But even if you think of going to the grocery store or somewhere in your personal life, if you can
Mm-hmm.
share a smile, it's low cost, high impact, and it
Uh,
leaves someone feeling better than when they crossed your path. So it's a Mother Teresa quote: leave others
uh,
better than when they first meet you. But
uh-huh.
that is my big driving force of being my healthy, happiest self. I do
Uh-huh.
say director of happiness and Kylie Rae of Sunshine as my branding is a beautiful nickname and can be often misconstrued as happy all the time and sunshine and butterflies. I try to live that the best I can, but truthfully, if you cut me, I bleed and I cry probably more than anyone I know. So it's a relatability piece, but if you can choose the happy side and you can choose the positive perspective. I know we talked about sharing book recommendations and
Uh-huh.
studying positive psychology. If I can choose to be in that energy and in that environment, that will automatically lift my mood and be able to be better, a better vibration to positively impact others. So really it's a mission of spreading kindness and good and
Uh-huh.
happiness.
Very good. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's all about the mindset, I think, like you said, the positive psychology has demonstrated to focus on the positive because our brain is designed for the opposite, right? So it has to be an effort, and it's our choice at the, as you say. Cool. And what makes you, I'm curious, what makes you to go to this path, or was any moment in your life that made you, okay, I'm this, I'm the positive director, I'm a positive happiness director.
So it's a twofold story, and I'll start from the very beginning.
Okay.
Being from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, the closest big city is Philadelphia.
Uh-huh.
And my father used to travel a lot for his medical company, and he would go to Philadelphia for business. And when you're
Uh-huh.
really young, you don't necessarily understand the concept of a hotel, that it's not just a place to stay, but
Mhm.
luxury hotels create experiences and they provide luxury service or personalized service that
Mhm.
is a next level experience. And
Mhm.
I had the opportunity to go stay with my dad at a really nice hotel in Center City, Philadelphia in my teens to have a
Uh-huh.
city experience and get to personally understand the level of luxury hotels. And when the second I walked into that lobby, the doorman greeted me with the world's biggest smile. It was the most beautiful hotel. And that feeling that I received from a total stranger, and
Mhm.
because my father stayed there so often, he treated my dad like family. It was something
Mhm.
that I come from a small town in the country in Lancaster that people are always nice to their neighbors and kind morals, values, just solid baseline. But when you go to a big city and you're walking into a big, strange city and someone greets you like that, there's something special. So I always thought I wanted to go down the food and beverage path and open my own little cute coffee shop and bake the little pastries. That's why I went to pastry school. But prior to
Mhm.
that, when I first experienced a luxury hotel by myself or with my father, I was introduced to the concept of having an opportunity to get paid $1 million to just smile and make people happy. Because that gentleman, his name was Bryce, greeted me as a 14-year-old young lady in the lobby and treating
Uh-huh.
my father with the best service possible. I didn't realize that that was a thing. So I discovered the concept of service
Uh-huh.
and being able to go down the path of working in luxury hotels, starting as a server assistant in food and beverage. And then, as we spoke earlier, transitioning into front of house and working my way up to general manager, I was able to explore that when you're in leadership, there are a lot of opportunities that cross your path, and
Mhm.
some people traditionally want to only come talk to the manager to complain and say something's wrong.
Mhm.
And things don't always go perfectly, even in the top of all hotels. So I found that a
Uh-huh.
lot of opportunities were crossing my path as I was growing in leadership, from employees, vendors, owners, clients, or guests,
Uh-huh.
right? They're coming at you from all angles. So, how can you make it fun and be able to still be engaged to create experiences through the challenges? So,
Mhm.
at one point, I got to the point we were operating with a skeleton crew, really low employees at the time, but high occupancy. So everyone needed everything at the same time.
Mm.
And how can you still choose to be happy through that when you're getting bombarded with complaints back to back to back to back? I chose the happy route. And I chose, instead of saying, "Hi, I'm the front office manager," I would say, "I'm the director of happiness." Because one of my first interns actually called me a director of happiness, and we kind of
Uh-huh.
joked about it. But when I realized it as a perspective, I would start saying I'm the director of happiness, self proclaimed for a while, and saying that I get paid to smile and solve problems. And when you simplify what your title and your role is, and you can make it fun and relatable, that adding that human centric part to the people taking care of people, which is service industry, it breaks the barriers of just going to the manager to complain to get compensation, and really getting to the root cause of whatever that problem or opportunity might be, and relating with someone on a personal level. So you're starting
Uh-huh.
with trust and like heart first, leading with love, of saying, how can we make this right? What actually is going on? Maybe it's not the surface level opportunity. And a
Mhm.
big a big section of Service with a Smile, my company, and the training that I do with workshops and partnerships is problem resolution, because that's a big piece of service, and not
Uh-huh.
just doing it transactionally. So the director of happiness came from my experience in luxury hotels. A top performing intern who was playful and called me a director of happiness, and I ran with it. And that's my twofold story.
That's very cool. This director of happiness is just prime you, right? Prime you for the whole day to look for opportunities to make people happy, right? And I like the story about the doorman. So the doorman is the one who kind of treat you there and engage you to do what you're doing now. And you knew his name as well, I heard, right?
I'll never forget it. He greeted me by name. He knew my name and
Uh-huh.
then he introduced himself with his name, which to
Uh-huh.
me is the simplicity of service with a smile. He smiled at me. He used personalized service, and I share this with my team all the time. Is personalized service isn't just the transactions of hitting every standard within Forbes and core standards within your company. It's the people taking care of people. You greeted
Uh-huh.
me, Yoshi, by saying, "Hi, Kylie," and "K-Man, how are you?" And I
Uh-huh.
said, "Hi, Yoshi." If it's just face to face and not deeper than that, then it's not personalized. You have
Yeah.
personal, every time I've seen you, you have flowers on your shirt.
I like flowers. There is a thing about positive psychology or these things like that colors, make us happier, So I think also by wearing this, I make other people happy in a way, because it's not like black or gray colors, that are normally more prone to feel a bit low or sad. So yeah, yeah, thank you for that.
It's fascinating though. So you mentioned that, and I'm obviously wearing bright colors because the energy that is attached
Uh-huh,
to colors, I believe in that as well.
uh-huh,
But I also have a really close loved one who does wear black and is very simple in the selection of what clothes and style that they wear. And that
uh-huh,
was another perspective, not necessarily positive perspective, but
uh-huh,
psychology of a CEO. Have you
uh-huh,
heard this? That some CEOs prefer to keep it simple as black, neutral, power,
uh-huh.
and consistent. So the
Oh,
amount of brain work that it takes for me to choose what color I want to wear
mm,
today versus
yeah.
every day if he wears black, he's
Uh-huh.
gonna he has a look, it's an image, it's consistent, it's brand, it's stoic, it's all the things and consistent. Where I'll change my color in my dress or my jacket every day, and what is she going to wear today? So I think I relate to you from my style perspective on the color and the
Uh-huh.
flower perspective, but it's fascinating to see the other side too, that does exist
Yeah,
of
I
maybe
heard.
not using
I
as much energy to choose what you're going to wear for the day.
I have few shirts, so I just wear the one I feel like in the moment. I don't break my mind so much. I understand what you say because I think Mark Zuckerberg also has the same color of clothes or something like that. I hear. But for me, it's very simple. I just say, okay, I wear this. I don't take too much time. Honestly, if I'm completely honest, here when I don't have coats or anything, I'm without shirt, because it's very hot and there is wind. So it cannot get simple than that.
What's the
Uh,
temperature in Brazil?
I think during the morning, early in the morning, like 5, 6 in the morning, it's about 24 degrees. But now in midday, well, it's already 8, 10 o'clock, right? So it's about 30 degrees already, and gets to 30, 31. And it's humid, so it's hot, so that's why, many people are without share and anything because it's just too hot, But it's funny, it's funny. So very good. Thank you so much. What is the biggest lesson learned that you may had so far, Kylie, regarding your work experience? About being a happiness director.
Don't take things personally.
Nice.
I'm still working on it every day, but that's a
Uh-huh.
really big one.
Definitely.
Can I give you two? I have two lessons.
Sure, please.
The other layer that those who know me will say is if there's a will, there's a way.
Uh-huh.
So, whatever the obstacle, whatever the opportunity, personal or professional, always continuing to find a solution. And with a positive mindset, I think that's a formula for success.
Uh-huh. Totally. Uh-huh. Yes. If the why is big enough, there is anyhow to get it. Totally agree. Very good. What about in your experience in the terms of any practical example that you could give us that could may represent this that you just shared?
Will you say that again?
Yes. So don't take things first, right? Or if there is a way, there is a way. Is there any particular example that comes to your mind that can illustrate this that you just shared,
Yes.
Kylie?
So, one of my biggest stories. I just talked to someone about this the other day. This was probably 10 years ago, but it's a real example.
Okay,
There
cool.
was it was in a hotel, and I was one of the senior managers and had a new young lady at the front desk. And there was a gentleman who's a repeat guest with high priority of membership and loyalty and rewards. And when you're a repeat and you're loyal somewhere, it's nice to be recognized,
Okay.
even if someone doesn't know you. So respectfully, I understand that perspective. But this gentleman came in expecting for this girl to know who he was without ever crossing his path. And instead of being patient and trying to explain who he was and that he prefers to be recognized so that next time she could make sure she knew who he was, he started to react versus respond and was very aggressive and loud and not ideally professional, to the point that she took it personal and started to cry. She came to the back office and talked to me, and it was like literally her first day. But I talked to her and I said to her, I said, one of these lessons that I continue to learn is that it's the psychology and the emotions and human nature of how someone is reacting. They're trying to express something to you. And we talked through ways of understanding where he might be, but also being able to do a better job of maybe understanding who's coming in. And if we have a photo of this repeat person, just kind of finding solutions through it. But that was a big one where she did take it very personal because it's her first day and she wants to look good. And the first interaction she had just exploded in the lobby. So it was a good learning experience for all involved, but also just how we were able to handle that and regain everyone's loyalty across the way. So not taking it personal is very important. So someone might be reactive to you, but just trying to understand what they truly are asking for, and then how can you deliver that service or explain to them that what they're asking for might need to be adjusted to accommodate everyone involved.
Sure, no, that's good. That's very good example, yeah. And you never know. Sometimes just people have bad days, and they need to steam out, and they found you, and maybe it's like, okay, I think that was important to always approach to people with very, like open mindset in terms of kindness and love, because you never know what they have in their mind, It's impossible. It's impossible to know all the background that they have to react in this way, right? Okay, very good. What else would you like to share with us today, Kylie, that it has made a big impact in the industry and the things that you work on?
I think it's important to find other people that you can learn from. So my story is a success story of growth. I had on my mind to be a general manager by 30, and I was able to achieve that, which I'm very proud of. But sharing this with other entrepreneurs and business professionals that are watching and interested in their growth is never stop learning and never be afraid to ask, because if you don't ask, the answer is always no, or you might be missing an opportunity that's truly is open. Maybe you're just misunderstanding what someone is saying from an angry guest perspective, or ways to be able to learn new things in the system. Just from our conversations alone, Yoshi, I've already learned a dozen things. And so being able to talk to people and actively listen, working on communication and soft skills. A lot of people think that, especially in hospitality or a service-based industry, that technical skills are so important. It's important that you can use cash handling and you can use the phone and you can use computers and technology. But at the end of the day, my perspective is I think that being able to be your best self and show up with a personal connection builds a stronger relationship than just transactional interactions. If you think of your favorite hotel or your favorite travel experience, since you've traveled all across the world, what maybe one of your favorite experiences was something that really truly emotionally connected with you versus yes, welcome to this hotel, have a great day.
Sure. The connection makes everything, right? The emotional connection with people and with the environment and everything. Totally agree. That's cool. That's really cool. And how do you do that? What is the best way you have found so far to find people to learn from and also to keep learning?
You and I talked about reading. That's a big thing. and asking for book recommendations. You've already shared a few books that I haven't read yet, and vice versa. So being able to just ask if someone likes to read, can they give you a book recommendation? And maybe even asking specifically what topic you're interested in. Because people can make recommendations all day, but if it's not specific to what you're looking to learn, it might just take you down a different path, which is okay. But specifically, being able to ask for what you're looking for, but also identifying, like, who do you admire? And sometimes that admiration can come off as intimidating. So if you might be afraid to talk to that person or to reach out to that person, but when you do and you reach out to them, it turns out that majority of them I've found actually know who I am and are interested to work back with me or find some capacity for collaboration and grow together. So Ron, who connected us here, was because of a conference that he was speaking at. I really resonated with his message and his interactive style of delivering his message. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Are you muted or no? Yoshi, can you hear me? There we go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, but I don't know why the headset is just disconnected,
Oh, maybe that's what happened. There was an X, so I was trying to figure out what that was.
Yeah, sorry. Now. Okay. Now
can you hear me? Yep. Can you hear me? You can? Okay. So.
Okay, now I can hear you. Sorry about that, Kylie.
That's what I was saying earlier, is it's better to be outside.
Definitely, I agree.
But when I was sharing that, you and I connected and were able to share some powerful stories and book recommendations because of a mutual friend called Ron Johnson, right? And I met Ron years ago from a conference that I attended. And I waited at the end of conference to go introduce myself to him because his message was very strong and aligned with what I needed to hear. And his style of speaking is the way that I wanted to transform my workshops, that I could serve other people and collaborate with him. So I asked him, can we meet for a walk and talk? And he said, absolutely. And we met and we talked, and we've been in touch on and off since then, probably 6 years ago. And it's cool because it's across the world. Like, you don't have to limit yourself to just one little neighborhood in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I have a wellness director that I'm connected with in India, Ron in the Caribbean. There's people in Canada that are doing amazing things, in Mexico, in Brazil, for example. Yoshi, you're in Brazil. It open your...
So the technology, right? The technology is opening the possibilities that we never imagined, right?
It is. So really just reaching out to someone, and with technology, to your point, is LinkedIn or social media. It doesn't hurt to send a direct message, not a spammy message trying to sell stuff, but just saying, hi, Ron told me about you. Would you be open to meet on a Zoom call? And then we do, and look at where we are now.
Definitely, that's good. All right, very good. I asked, we are at the end of the interview. Okay, we have 6 minutes left. And I always like to ask this question that if you have, imagine that you can have a last message or a big message to the whole world. Kylie, what message will you leave to the whole world?
If I could leave one message, if I were to leave this world tomorrow, I would say thank you to everyone who's been an amazing influence in my life, to continue to live in gratitude, to be kind, and serve with a smile.
Okay, serve with a smile. Live with kindness, yeah? Uh-huh. I like the story. Remind me to the story of the door guy, doorman, yeah? I cannot see you now, or I cannot see myself now. You can see me?
I can see you, but there's an X and it's frozen, but I can see you. There you go.
Sorry, Kylie. I don't know why I'm having so many technical issues. I'm sorry.
That's all
And the
right.
last time as well, I feel a bit embarrassed. So, just to come up, what is the you think the last lessons learned that you can give to entrepreneurs and startups that that are eager to make an impact and to redefine the business mindset, which is something that we're both doing.
Great question. I'm liking your questions. They're really good.
Thank you.
I'm going to say to keep it simple,
Uh-huh.
the keep it simple, sweetheart philosophy, the KISS method, KISS, keep it simple. But also from a simplicity perspective is to be able to serve others at a high level, you have to be able to serve yourself. So a lot of what I work on with positive mindset and business development coaching and service consulting is to be able to make sure that you do have a full cup first. And this is a project I work on for myself. So I am learning and growing every day. I own it. But being able to practice what you present so that you're true holistically delivering this message from a place of fullness, right? So I woke up
Totally
before meeting with
agree.
you today. I woke up and I went outside by the beach and I went for a walk and I talked to a friend who could lift my mood so that I'm not groggy or just rolling out of bed for the call, right? So I think that being able to do what you need, even if it's only 10 minutes in the morning of reading or meditating or making your bed, those simple little healthy habits can help you be the better you to better serve other people. So being able to take care of yourself is very important.
Totally. Yeah. We cannot give what we don't give ourselves first, right? I think as well, Yeah.
And
So,
entrepreneurship is serious. It's an adventure, and some days are better than others. And you want to stay on that high of flow and exciting, but sometimes you're in a rut and you're trying to dig out. And the best way to do it is to take a minute to slow down and refresh before you catapult to the next, to avoid burnout, essentially.
totally agree. All right, very good. It was a great interview. Thank you so much, Kylie. I just wanted to ask you if you have anything that we haven't covered or anything to say as last word.
I invite you and anyone that is interested in talking for follow-up to connect with me. I'm on LinkedIn and Instagram is Kylie Rae of Sunshine. And just to stay connected, if I can be an inspiration or a reason for you to shine your light brighter and share a smile or collaborate or be a resource. If it's hard to ask for help, I'm giving you an invitation to reach out and see how I can be of service.
All right, very good. Thank you so much for that invitation. So yeah, we can call it off for now with your message of serve with a smile. I think it will be good. Thank you so much, Kylie.
Thank you.
Yeah, talk to you now soon. Bye bye.
Bye.